Hi guys, and welcome back to one of my videos. This I think is the third or the fourth video that I do about this subject. I do this video now because now the model is finished and complete and in production, and despite the coronavirus situation you can find it periodically reissued by me. Currently the item is sold out. Always ask anyway, because there is always one or two left for my own purposes, and so if you really want the item, I always try to find a way, if possible, to provide it to you. And this is the finished model of the G91T, T3, yes, and T1, sorry, I forget it already. And as you can see, the model looks pretty nice in shape. The biggest modification of this item, I hope you can see that it is in this part of the fuselage, because it has been increased of if I not remember wrong, it was 2 or 3 millimeters, because it was much wider than the fuselage or the ordinary single seater, and finished in this configuration. I think it is extremely convincing, because it's eye-catching, with these day glow orange spots and the typical Italian paint scheme of the 70s and the 80s. RS08 was a kind of unusual code. I made a special decals for this plane. This was used in Roma Pratica di Mare airport, and the special logo and the special code RS was Reparto Sperimentale, and they had F-14 Tornado and G91s to test, to make experimental stuff with the plane. So it was not the plane used in the training center that we have in Puglia, and but the plane is anyway the same, so you can finish with the decal that you want. I just provide as an extra option, outside of the conversion kit. I always repeat, it's a conversion kit, because some guys unfortunately misunderstood that the model was not a complete resin kit, but I wanted to produce a conversion simply because it's quite expensive to produce this stuff, and so also the final object results always a little bit expensive, compared to plastic kits. But the part that you basically miss, it is the wings, the ailerons in the back, and landing gears and so on. I mean, it's small stuff that you can take from the single-seater box provided by Ace Italeri Occidental. They are basically the same item, just Occidental is comes with engraved lines, but they are nearly all completely mistaken, so it's not so much use, from the kit. You don't scrap a nice kit about the G91, you just scrap the only kit about the G91 that you can find around. And I think that you can buy one of that boxes for 30 to 40 euros, and to provide all these small parts in resin to me and to the final price of the conversion could cost more than this 20 to 30 euros, with the result that, of course, parts like the main landing gears could not be probably stable as the one that we have in plastic here. I always place inside some pins, because if they have to take it up a plane that is anyway made with the resin fuselage, they have to be a little more stable. What it is important to see in the finished model is that probably change the globe, I don't want to make the major on the painting. The most important part that I think is important to note is that the conversion that I didn't include the little modification that the G91 twin-seater had compared to the single-seater, and it was mostly this area. So the main gear landing doors are a little bit different in shape, and also the main one is not split in two like in the ordinary single-seater, but it is just the main one made that way. I think it's quite easy to scratch build that with a little plasticar, and so it's absolutely something easy if you are inside this kind of conversion and this kind of build. Of course you need to be with a little experience to build up this item. Also very important, this fin that could not become properly printed in the resin model must be with this special shape. If you just check references and picture, I always provide pictures and reference about this model, so you can find everything that you want about it, and just ask me and I will give you everything that I have around that. I think that overall is a very convincing model. Of course still remains a compromise from the starting point, because we anyway are using a model that is the only, as I say, the G91 existing that is a mold from 30, if not 40 years ago, you know, right now. So anyway, there is compromises, you know, like the this is in Italian they are deviatori di flusso. I don't know the English name of them, but they are probably vortex generator for the tail of the plane. The fin is a little different, so there is some compromises of instead of having an ordinary model. One of the trickiest area of these models is absolutely the cockpit, you know, and that's why inside my models I provide also the dime to reproduce several of them. I also had some guys that wanted to buy extra cockpit. I could do it from here, you know. Right now I'm in Sweden, so I'm trying to arrange the expedition of my items from here. It's a little bit pricey, more pricey than from Italy, but I see that anyway the stuff arrive all over. Just with United States, they had a little issues, but we're fixing also that, so I hope that everybody will get his model, you know. And today I had the production of over 100 planes, so it's quite satisfactory, you know, what we did here with the numbers. So, and for me it was extremely pleasure to see something coming to life. Also, I would like to show the build of the finished items to show that if I could do something like that, I think that anybody outside there could finish it. What is still missing in my build is just the mirrors. The G91 had two little mirrors here. That is a photo etched part that I really don't have in my photo etched sets, but it's something absolutely easy, and I will probably add them when I'm back to Italy, or if I find something from other boxes, you know. I still didn't check it, but that's it. So this is another video about the G91T. I think it is a decent model, you know. I had no way, of course, to provide neither in resin or in metal some decently molded leathers, HS leather for the plane, you know. They are quite convincing, and they give a nicer spot of color over the plane, and that's it. So also this plane is absolutely rare, and every lover of Italian Air Force, of absolutely German Air Force, or Portuguese or Greek Air Force, they love this item so much. So everybody that wanted special collection of items took it. And if you did not, you can anyway send me a mail, drop me a mail at info@markalsoldatino.com, and try to book your copy, you know. I hope that in the future I will make more production of this item. They are completely artisanal stuff and handmade items, so you have to understand that it is not possible to provide it like an ordinary supply for a plastic kit. That's it. Remember that it is a conversion guide, because I had a couple of guys that misunderstood this and say, hey Paolo, what about the wings? We are missing the wings. So I explained that, and I hope there is no problem. And thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.